Hello and welcome to another episode of Nerd Age. This is the show where we talk about everything nerdy. My name is Mick, and with me as always are my co-hosts, Josh.
What's up?
Corey.
Hey.
And Jonah.
Hey, everybody.
I don't know, was that the... I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm switching it up.
Did you forget who's on the podcast?
Well, I think we've switched the order here, so it confused me. But that's my doing. So anyway, welcome to the show. We're going to jump right into some ranking of the Star Wars films. All 11, unless we are including the Clone Wars theatrical release.
Nah.
Okay.
11 live action.
That was at the bottom of my list, so...
11 live action.
all right. Live action Star Wars movies. So how do you guys want to do this? You want to just go... start from the bottom, work our way up?
Yeah, I think so. I think someone just gives their bottom, and then we just see where this takes us. And when there's a disagreement, we just talk about it and move along. That's how. Pretty simple.
Only if there's a disagreement.
Yeah, only. Well, if we agree, then it's just like nothing to talk about. Like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It's your freaking list. You can put whatever you want there.
100%.
I'm just going to copy your list
Sounds good.
each time.
So to counteract that, why don't you go first then, Mick? No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Hey, I actually I made a song for ranking. So do you want to hit the song? That's right.
I'll hit the song. Here we go.
That's it. Oh yeah, that's it.
That's it?
Bro, you said that too long. You said that too long.
It's just a horn, dude.
I liked it.
And drums. Does that not? This is like
Sad horns.
Does that song not get you super jacked
To
to
rank
do a
some
ranking?
stuff?
I'm gonna start because I'm jacked.
Gets me depressed.
So my worst Star Wars movie for me is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
gosh,
I think the acting's really bad in those. I will say, before I keep going into this, these change like every day for me. Like if I think about it, so depending on my mood, these movies go up. But
doesn't mean
as
anything.
of right now, this is my least favorite Star Wars movie, Attack of the Clones. Go ahead, Mick. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your last
well,
one?
that's not my bottom.
Okay, what's your bottom?
My bottom is Last Jedi. And I know that's controversial.
Screw you, Kathleen Kennedy.
That's crazy.
It's all your fault? No. Yeah, this movie to me just... first of all, it really did not build upon what The Force Awakens did and what they approached with the new characters. To me, the whole subvert expectations thing with like almost every little plot detail in the movie, to me, just got old really quick, and it just was not interesting. What they did with Luke, I mean, that's probably the biggest sin for the movie for me, is they really butchered him, in my opinion. And the humor too. The humor seemed very like Marvel kind of slapstick humor. I think they ruined Hux. Hux was a cool villain in The Force Awakens, and they made him a slapstick joke and part of a your mama joke. And to me, it just the tone of the movie was not like classic Star Wars. To me, that they just weren't taking the material seriously. And to me, I've seen the other movies, and they seem to be like, they take themselves seriously. So to me, this movie is probably the worst.
I'll bring up just some other just things that might, in my opinion, brings this movie up is the visuals are really stunning.
Yeah.
Some of the coolest scenes are shot. Like that's the one with the throne room scene, right?
Yeah.
One of the best in that trilogy. Probably the best scene. I don't know. I mean, they do all right by the characters. So I wouldn't say that it's like, it's just all the characters are trash, but the acting was fine. I would say that I actually dislike the Force Awakens humor more than this movie's humor. Some of the stuff that they did in that movie were kind of like way outside of left field, and I was just like, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It's on my bottom half for sure, 100%.
Yeah, and I think that if they had done what I wanted them to do with Luke, I think that would have helped the movie a lot. But to me, that's just like
they would have done what I thought was best. It would have been way better.
That's just what you just said, basically.
Yeah. I mean, don't you go into the movie wanting what you want?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not wrong.
I
Tell me
accept
what you want.
I'm not wrong.
I accept that I'm not the best
Hey,
writer
I
in the
say
world,
the
though.
same thing. If they would have done what I wanted in Attack of the Clones, it would be the best movie ever.
True.
That's true. I mean, it sounds bad when I say it that way, but
I really enjoyed Rey's, like, not how they answered the questions or didn't answer the questions, but I liked her interaction with what's his face? Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that was
Jeez.
cool. I think that's
With
probably
Ben. I was trying to think of Ben, but yeah,
I think that's probably the best stuff they did is their dynamic,
that.
and then like you said, I think the visuals make it kind of up higher in my list. The whole I can't. What's her name? Purple hair.
Admiral Holdo.
Admiral Haldo when she does the
maneuver.
the Haldo maneuver.
Wait, so you're saying that's a highlight?
That's a highlight.
Oh,
I think that's one of the
a low light. For
like
me.
visually when
Oh,
the
it's
sound
cool
just
looking.
goes away and it's just like that was really cool. So
But it's like that aspect of it. Just because it looks cool doesn't mean you do it,
Right,
you
but-
know what I mean?
yeah.
It looked dope. You're right, 100%.
What's your bottom?
Same as yours.
Okay, Attack of the Clones.
Same reasons. Like the act, like the lines. There was no chemistry. There was some cool like lightsaber fights, but that's about it for me. So everything else was like, really disjointed story. Like the storyline was really messed up and wonky, and I just did not enjoy it very much. But I actually enjoy all of these.
Yes.
To be fair to everyone, to be fair to every movie, I enjoy every one of them.
Yes.
But just we have to eke them out, you know.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I love
Yeah.
the prequels,
I
but
really do either.
there has to be. I mean,
What? If you love the prequels, what prequel movie wouldn't be on your last one? You know what I'm saying?
what's your bottom? See,
My bottom, Attack of the Clones. The same reason. And this is the thing. This list, it's like, you write it out and it's like 11. It's really like, should be like this, like
Yeah.
just parallel because there's like, it's not very, the difference between number 1 and 11
It's
is
not
like
it's not a
minuscule.
It's not a 6 versus an 8. No. This is like a 8.1 versus 8.2.
Exactly. It's like,
Yeah.
I love all these movies.
Yeah,
There's things I love in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Like even things that are like that people always make fun of, like I killed them all, the women.
I love that,
children. I love that scene.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great scene, and it's an awesome Anakin scene. But
not just the men, with the women.
it's great
Dude,
stuff. It's good stuff.
Whatever the line is.
slaughtered them
That's brutal. That's brutal.
But I think it comes down to the romantic relationship with Anakin and Padme. Just
It's all hinging on.
terrible.
It's the
The
lines.
whole,
I
the whole
think.
story is hinging on you to buy into this relationship, and I didn't.
yeah.
I don't think a lot of people did.
And Anakin comes off kind of creepy in
Yeah.
it.
And a
he's
whiny
like,
brat.
I've been watching you in the bedroom.
Yeah, and
Like,
the
oh,
droid,
geez, dude, come on.
Yeah, dude.
and the droid, like the C-3PO R2 droid thing
Yeah.
going on, like throughout the whole.
Switching heads and stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
to me is just like it's just too much, and yeah.
Yeah.
There's great scenes in it. I love the Yoda scene with Count Dooku and all that kind of stuff, but it just is. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the bottom. Josh, what is your next one? We'll go back this way and then we'll switch it up.
My next one is Solo.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
There's a lot of things. Same thing. There's a lot of things I liked about this movie, but it's just I did like Alden Ehrenreich, but I just feel like some of the things that happened in it, like it was a fun adventure, but I don't think there was a lot of depth into it that I got out of it. Like some of the other movies, like there's a lot of relationship stuff that I can pull out of there. As far as writing goes, it felt pretty like, okay, Han Solo, he's alone. That's why he's solo.
Yeah.
And he's finding his family.
Yeah.
It was okay. That's fine.
The performances were good.
Yeah, the acting's great. But if I compare it to all the other
Yeah.
movies,
I agree.
I just I enjoy those other movies more. Visually, it's great. The music's great, but like I said, it's like a 0.2. You know what I mean? These are
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Sea Dog, what's yours?
Mine is.
He's like, what's the Rotten Tomato score?
I did Solo as well.
Wow.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is that it had no consequence. Like there was, it didn't feel like there's much weight to it. in addition to what you already said, but like I would add a little bit of like no consequences. I didn't feel like I was like really rooting for someone to win or lose, and it was kind of this weird gray, not sure what to root for, kind of confusing ending. Not confusing, but it's kind of like it's bittersweet, and it's like I don't know, just the storyline didn't have a ton of consequence to it, I guess. And so
Yeah.
and I'm also not a number one Han Solo fan, so maybe that has to do with it.
Yeah. That being said, give me Solo 2, or give me a Solo show, or a Crimson Dawn show.
Crimson Dawn show would be cool.
I'm down with the show. Yeah.
I think the coolest thing about Solo was the Darth Maul at the end. Kind of, that to me was one of the highlights of that.
It was cool.
And it
'cause I
totally
wasn't
paid off.
Expecting that.
It's like a Marvel movie. You're always there for like the last
Yeah,
scene.
baby, let's go.
Mick, what's your?
So my
The Last Jedi again.
yes, because it's that bad.
The second half of Last Jedi.
All the Canto Bite stuff. I mean, that's like a whole bad movie into itself.
Oh my god.
The next one for me is Rise of Skywalker, and I will preface this by saying this is the one I've seen the least, so I don't remember it that much.
So it's definitely going to go up higher the more you watch it.
Maybe. Could be. It's possible. But just from what I remember of it, I was not pleased with a lot of the Palpatine stuff. That to me just came out of left field. It wasn't earned. A lot of kind of stupid stuff. And I think that the sequel trilogy has the problem of like each movie like seemed to try to fix what was done last.
Yeah. It was reactive. Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so I think that really that hurt The Last Jedi and it hurt The Rise of Skywalker. So maybe it would go up a little bit if I watched it again, but yeah, just from not remembering that much about it, it's pretty low on my list.
How many times have you seen it?
I think I saw it twice. I think I saw it both times in theaters.
And never again.
And never again.
Wow.
And that came out,
gotta do a marathon.
2019 or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something?
Some date. I mean, you know the date's better than we do.
That's true, I do.
Yeah, why are you asking us, dude?
My number 10 is Solo as well.
Bro, stop copying us. You kidding me?
I mean, for the reasons you guys already said. There were some cool things in it, but wasn't my favorite one. I think the acting's really good. I liked Kira's character.
Yeah, she was good, and so was Han.
I like Drayden Voss, stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's just
All
little
the characters
things.
are good.
There's just little things that I didn't like. I didn't like how he got his name. Where he's just like, well, Solo, like that kind of stuff. I was just like, eh. Obviously,
Did it seem like there were a lot of like answering questions that like people didn't really care about?
I don't think I didn't mind, because I know a lot of people complain about like, oh, his blaster, like they show how he got his blaster. I like that kind of stuff. I thought Woody Harrelson was good in it. I liked it. I just feel like there was stuff. Obviously, everyone knows that this movie went through like a really bad production. They got rid of. They had to get Ron Howard in to finish it. So I think that it suffers from that. Just having like, oh, let's refinish this. But like I said, I still enjoy it. I like the acting. I like a lot of stuff in it, but it's just not one of those movies that I'm like, oh, I need to rewatch it. If I have a Star Wars movie to rewatch, it's going to be on the lower of the list. Let's go with Mick. Mick, what's your number 9?
Number 9 for me is, I'll join you guys, it's episode 2.
It's a little too late.
definitely the worst of the prequel movies. The love story is just absolute cringe. I do like some of the Anakin stuff though, like you guys are saying, where you could see hints of the dark side like creeping in and stuff.
Or when
like
he floats that pear.
Oh,
that
that's
space
especially
pear.
the CGI space pear was great.
One of the best songs though from Attack of the Clones is the
their love song. Yeah,
I can't, Across the Stars.
Across the Stars.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
They came out 2002. But I do really like the Obi-Wan stuff. Him like being the kind of detective, kind of figuring out the bounty hunter stuff. Like that to me is like really solid. And I mean, Ewan McGregor is solid all the way through all 3 movies. So that kind of goes without saying. But
Tom
This guy is full of impressions.
That voice, I don't like that voice. Not a fan.
That's my number 9.
What do you got, Sea-Dog?
Phantom Menace.
Okay.
It just never really hit home to me. I think it's because I like the characters that are product of, that come after, and when I feel like also the Anakin who was cast too young. I really get like messed up when he's doing all this stuff, and it's like, that they like eventually like get married and stuff, and he's a little kid. I don't know. I get caught up on it, bro.
Come on.
Oh, bro, whoa.
Hey,
She's an angel.
I'm just saying, dude. I'm
A what?
I'm not blind, bro. Is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I like a lot of it, but we're talking about little differences. But yeah, I'm also not a huge fan of pod racing as much as other people are. I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, dude, that sequence is so cool and awesome." I'm like, "It's all right." I'm not here to see a race. I'm not here to see
NASCAR. Get out of here.
Yeah, NASCAR. This isn't a movie about family. You know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I think it's an all right movie. I just wish he was cast older. That's about it.
I think I would go a long way to making it better. Yeah. That and a little less Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Sea-Dog. I mean, I keep calling Josh Sea-Dog.
Get the fuck
Josh, what's your number 9?
My number 9 is The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay.
Similar to Mick, this is the one I've probably seen the least also. I've seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. There's a lot of stuff I really like in it, but the Palpatine stuff didn't sell me. I feel like out of the options that they had for that, like Palpatine was the worst option for Rey's parentage. Like I could have gone with Obi-Wan. I could have been fine with them just keeping her as a nobody. I actually would have preferred that more. So that kind of is like, oh, okay, we're doing this now. That's cool. And it just feels like it was rushed. Like you said, Mick, each movie was trying to retroactively fix and change things. Yeah. And I know we've talked about it before, but they should have just had 3 movies written by the same person, strong through line, but they went with 3 separate ones. Similar to Solo, this had its production issues. Colin Trevorrow's script got thrown out, a year before the movie came out or something crazy like that. They brought J.J. Abrams back. So I think it definitely suffers because of that. There's a lot of cool stuff in there, but a lot of like Finn was kind of wasted in this movie. His storyline kind of just petered out a little bit, in my opinion. A lot of the execution stuff is like, that's cool, but does it really make sense?
Yeah.
That like, it's just so happens that this knife that we hold up is perfectly going to show us where that's like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Such a
it takes a lot of suspension of disbelief.
They made it after the wreckage was there.
Okay.
That's the whole point.
Sounds good.
Whatever.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think that was stupid too. What's yours, Jonah?
Mine is Last Jedi. We don't need to go over this again. But for me, the worst things are Canto Bight. I don't like what they did with Luke, even though if someone's arguing me about the Luke stuff, I can kind of like play the other side and be like, well, this is what we're going for. So I can understand what they're going for. I'm just, as Luke being one of my favorite characters, I feel like some of the decisions he made, he wouldn't have. So I think that's my biggest issue and gripe with Last Jedi. Like I said, there's some really cool stuff, but the Canto Bight, the stuff with Luke, I didn't like. So that's why it's where it is. I'll go ahead and do my number 8, just because you guys have already talked about it, but it is Rise of Skywalker. Is my number 8 for similar reasons you guys all said. It just didn't feel like it connected the way it should have. I don't mind the Palpatine stuff. I actually think it's pretty good. The best part I think of the movie is Kylo Ren and his story. The scene with Han, I think, is beautiful and it has a great through line to Force Awakens. So I love that kind of stuff. I love how from that point where he sees his father, he doesn't have another line of dialogue. It's just him doing actions, him being his father, becoming his father. I think that was done really well.
He does say ow.
And I do think
not just
that's,
like Han.
I think that's kind of what I love about. And so I'll really like, I'll like if someone hates it, I'll kind of go back and forth with them.
Yeah.
But it still is my number 8 for, like I said, I think the sequel trilogy suffers from not having one write or do them all. We've all said that. So, yeah, that's my number 8.
Yeah, I do think definitely the most solid thing all the way through those 3 is Kylo Ren and his story. He's, I think, definitely the best part. Is this my 8?
Yeah.
My 8 is Phantom Menace. And I would say from here on out,
Why?
like these movies
Dude.
are like ones I really enjoy. The other ones I enjoy them, but I don't like them really.
You're a hater. It's okay.
Yeah.
You hate Star Wars.
So like from here on out, these movies they were harder to rank for me because I do like them. Phantom Menace. It has its issues, sure, but I mean, I have 2 younger siblings, and I don't know, they love Jar Jar. Like Jar Jar is made for, that age group, and I totally get it. For me, he doesn't really work anymore, but that's fine. But man, the pod race scene is one of the
Trash.
according to Corey. No, I think it's one of the best sequences in all the movies. It's so unique and so fun.
Wow.
It really shows what kind of character Anakin is and how powerful he can be with the Force. So yeah, I love that scene. And to me, I think the saber stuff is way better than in Episode 2. I think it really took a step back with that one. But yeah, Darth Maul obviously is such a great character, and I'm glad that they've kept him through and put him in so many other things like Solo. But yeah, it definitely has its flaws, but it has a lot of great stuff. The music is amazing. The visuals, I think, still hold up. And I think it's underappreciated, but I can understand why people don't like it. I totally get it, but to me, I do enjoy the movie.
T-Dog.
What did I say last? Did I say
We're on number 8 now.
Yeah, what did I say last though? Because I switched to
You said Phantom Menace, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah.
Ooh. I might be on Last Jedi. Did I already say Last Jedi?
You haven't said Last Jedi.
Okay, Last Jedi.
Which
then.
I'm shocked, by the way, because we've talked about how much you like Luke and how much you hated what they did in Last Jedi. So I'm surprised it's not lower for you. But continue.
I mean,
Bro, let the man speak.
so you want me to bat for it? That's
No. I was just saying. I thought you were going to have it as your least favorite. So I'm a little surprised that it's not on the bottom. If that makes any sense.
Well, I mean, that's like shock reactions, right? I mean, obviously, I didn't like how they ended him, but I think it's also kind of neat, just showing how much pure power he had, and so it's kind of like a testament to how great he was. Obviously, yeah, they didn't do it justice, in my opinion. I think he could have done it a lot better. I wish that sequence would have been a lot more interesting, but I guess dodging is really cool, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, he also is he can't actually hit him. So it's like, that's all he could really do. So, it was all right. It was cool seeing all those blasters just be laid into him and stuff like that. And so, but I mean, hey, I still enjoyed like the visuals of everything. I still enjoyed aspects of that movie. And I do like, the way they treated lightsabers to some aspect. Cause I did like how they fought kind of unrefined. I really did enjoy that. So, but yeah, also it's one of the few that I get to see him in. So I was like, all right, I get to see Luke Skywalker in it. Sweet. So I'll take what I can get.
My number 8 is also Phantom Menace, Mick. Basically everything about what you said. I think one of the things that suffers the most is the CGI isn't great. It doesn't hold up. I'm thinking specifically of the last scene. The
last scene?
No, I mean like everything looks really cheesy, like in the parade and everything.
Yeah.
All the Gungans,
the droids in the battle,
and
it's lighter stuff.
It's such a big part of the story that it's like I mean, it's just hasn't aged well.
Mm-hmm. It's sad because the model work, it still looks really good.
Yeah,
but then you contrast it with Jar Jar looks a little iffy now, and and then everything else you said. A young Jake Lloyd is like, is like kind of takes you out of the movie a little bit. But there's awesome stuff in it. I mean, Darth Maul is probably one of the best villains in Star Wars for me. Just a really cool, imposing dark side user. The
Duel of the Fates. We talk about that on this podcast all the time. That last fight scene is awesome. But yeah, pod racing. I'm not a huge fan of that.
I would have disagreed with you on the whole Darth Maul being a great villain, like before Rebels came out.
Right. Well, that's the thing.
You're getting influenced
movie wise
by another thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of like a redeeming factor for Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Like for me.
I agree.
Because otherwise, I would say he's not that awesome or interesting.
If I'm going
he looks cool.
If I'm going based off of the movie alone, he's in a couple scenes.
He's super linear. Exactly.
Everything else for Darth Maul gets fleshed out in Clone Wars and Rebels. That's what makes him a great villain.
I think
this is the introduction, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is like it's a great first introduction to him, and this character lives on through all sorts of media.
And like Corey said, there's the cool factor. He looks cool. Like I think that was one of the first things as a
he
kid.
made Solo
that was
look
the biggest
awesome.
That's one of the
when
things
that movie came out.
when the trailer hit and you were like, "Who's that?" Like that was pretty sick. So give us your next one. Might as well, and we'll come back this way.
My next one is number 7, and that is The Force Awakens. For me, I don't really have a problem that it's kind of a soft reboot. I know a lot of people are like, "That's just A New Hope," basically. That worked for me. Kind of a reintroduction to this galaxy that we all love. Like, it was a good reintroduction. I really like Poe. I think Rey is awesome. I really like Kylo Ren. I think it was a really, really strong start to the trilogy. There's a couple moments in this movie that I love rewatching, that I get chills still watching, and it's when the Resistance comes in at Maz Kanata's castle, and they fly in. And that great soundtrack. That great song.
It's a great shot.
Yeah,
looks really cool.
But yeah, I just I think it was a great start to the trilogy.
We were excited. Oh, we were excited.
Yeah. And so that's my number 7.
Sea-Dog, go ahead.
I said I was just looking at this. Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah. It was all right. I think you guys talked about it a lot already.
Yeah.
So I don't really have to go over it, but yeah, it just wasn't what I expected, and I expected a lot, and so maybe shame on me, but I don't know.
Fool me once.
Yeah. What about you, Nick?
My 7 would be Solo. I really enjoyed the movie.
He survived to the 7th position.
Nice.
He held on.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, to me, this movie was just a lot of fun. It was, I think you guys said it was low stakes, but I think that, to me, I see that as a strength for it because it just is a fun ride all the way through. Alden Ehrenreich I think he was great as a younger Han Solo. He doesn't do, just an impersonation. He does his own thing, and I think he still brings that Han Solo character to the screen. Beckett, he was just a fun mentor character, and Donald Glover was great as Lando. I think the casting in the movie was just super well done. But yeah, it was just a fun movie, and I'm a big Han Solo fan, so I didn't get all the hate that the movie got, but it was a good time.
Nice.
Number 7 for me, Phantom Menace. I don't need to go over it. We already have said everything.
Everything's been said.
Everything.
Sea-Dog. Can I get your number 6?
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And we're talking about my favorites now. I mean, basically, this is, come on, guys.
And you've already had the other 2 prequels.
Yeah,
right? So this is the highest of the prequels. Okay.
It's a great movie. I really love some of my favorite stuff is that storyline. And so, it was really killer. I really enjoyed it. I'm also not as big of a Anakin fan as you 3. So that's why this will be lower than you guys probably by a couple spots, actually.
We all look at everything like, is he right?
Probably, right?
Is he right?
Probably 2, right? Something like that.
Just you wait.
But yeah, there's just some stuff that I just don't buy into, especially at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of cheesiness, and there's a lot of drop balls, and there's a huge amount of potential that just didn't hit. Luckily for the movie with me, I guess, is that I have the high ground. That aspect won it for me.
Yeah.
That's why it's so high. But everything else, with Padme, yikes. That was so dry and without emotion. And there's just so much aspect to that was so cheesy.
Come on, man.
It was bad. So, but the rest of the movie was really good.
Nice.
It's number 6.
Mick, let's go with your 6.
My 6 will be Force Awakens.
Okay.
I thought it was a great start to the sequel trilogy. I didn't mind basically a remake of A New Hope. I thought that was totally fine. I love seeing Han Solo as kind of the mentor,
Scruffy looking
nerf herder. I thought he was great, but just the introductions of the characters. Finn is definitely the best in this movie out of the 3, and it's a shame that they didn't keep his character going with some good stuff. But as a start of the trilogy, really liked it. I think I saw it with you guys opening night, and it's a fun.
That's why it's so high up on your list.
Believable.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's my number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is Rogue One. I think there's some really cool stuff in this. I think it looks great. Obviously the Vader hallway
That's crazy.
scene.
I thought you'd have it higher. Wow. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
We've talked about
Defend
this.
yourself. Explain yourself.
My biggest problem is I feel like that they switch the endings. People know that they refilmed the endings, and I feel like everyone dies the same way and it's shot the same way. And to me, that feels lazy. When I rewatch it, it always bothers me because I'm like, they all die the same way. You filmed the same scene. I feel like they ran out of time and they're like, oh, just do that scene for everybody. But I think the highlights are Vader, obviously, any stuff with him. I thought Krennic was really good. Diego Luna, I love Cassian and all that stuff with him. I love seeing kind of just the beginning of the rebellion and all that kind of stuff that we wanted to see, like when we watched A New Hope, we were like, oh, how do they get the plans? I just thought it was brilliant how they butted that up. Like I said, these are now I like all the movies, but this is kind of where, thinking about it, I was like, Rogue One's got to be there.
Mistake.
I feel
You're wrong.
I feel like the music was good. Giacchino does a great job, but it also is missing a little Star Wars-y stuff to it. It felt like, especially if you go back and listen to the end, it sounds like Lost, and I love Lost. But I feel like it sounds too much like Lost and not enough like Star Wars. That's one of my complaints. But overall, I think Rogue One as my number 6 is
that's crazy.
Is there.
That is crazy. What's yours, Josh?
Are you guys ready to flip some tables?
Yeah, go ahead.
Empire Strikes Back, baby.
Oh my! Empire Strikes Back is your number 6.
It's at number 6. Like, hey, remember?
Okay, everyone people listening to this just threw their headphones.
Remember
they just
what
left.
I said. Remember what I said. There's
no one's listening.
There's barely point.
No one's
it's like
listening
0.01, 0.01. They're all right there.
No one's listening.
You guys thought I was going to get hate for Rogue One being my 6?
You're fine.
Thanks, Chip. Go ahead.
Listen,
Anybody can say anything now.
yourself.
And we're good.
Yeah,
We're
for
good.
real.
Yeah, exactly. It's my list, bro. It's not your list.
Tell us why.
Tell us
Go
why.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Tell us why, dude.
Okay, guys.
Stop freaking out, bro.
There's no. I can't explain it. I can't explain
You
it.
have to.
I can't
That's
explain it.
your job
There's
here.
something about Empire Strikes Back. The middle, it's mostly the Han Solo Leia storyline. Bores me, guys. Asteroid field chase. Don't like it. Bores me.
Okay.
Hiding in the asteroid bores me. You know what I mean? And then getting to Bespin, I'm like, okay.
Sure.
For whatever reason, there's some great stuff in this movie.
Okay.
I still really like
You
this
don't
movie.
like him being betrayed and having that kind of mini.
It's fine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I feel like in a lot, this is people's favorite movie, right? Because it's
Number one on everyone's.
the big turn, the big switch. That's fine. It's great. But for whatever reason,
Is it like a pacing issue?
it's the middle section with. I love the beginning. It's the stuff with Luke, and it's the middle section basically. The ending is great, but it kind of loses me.
I can understand that.
I'll throw. You're saying you don't understand why. Maybe I have an explanation for you. So we're all
I'm trying to decide whether I need to fight you
No, you're not.
preemptively.
Because so
Wait.
we obviously Josh is my brother, so we grew up watching these movies on VHS. But Josh was a lot younger than I was.
He's pulling this
No.
card. You were too young to stay up, little boy.
No, but because
your
when I
attention
was
span couldn't handle
when I
that,
was
little
younger,
boy.
when I was younger,
Yeah.
I loved Return of the Jedi over Empire because the action was better, and I got bored with the Yoda and all that, the stuff that took place during that stuff. So I think I'm wondering if because you were younger, like when we watched the prequels.
What am I still 7?
No, but I'm just saying.
Josh, you never grew up.
But you stay with certain stuff from your childhood.
Yeah.
Like for the same thing, we love the prequels is because we watched those movies. We were the right age to get those movies, right? So that's why a lot of people that love the prequels because they were the right age. Like Carter and Carmen, they like Jar Jar because they were the right age. So we kind of hold on to stuff when our first impression of things is really powerful. So that's my only attempt to explain why you would have such a sacrilegious explanation for your number 6.
Sure.
Is that you were young and when you watched it,
I'm a
took that
grown
with
man, and I still have the same opinion.
All right, let's move on to number 5.
What number? Oh,
Corey. Right, because you already gave us your 6.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Okay. So we're just one off.
You know why Rogue One's so much better than what your position was? Is because, see, what you're talking about, you're like caught up on the music and stuff like that. And it's like, I actually disagree. I think the music was actually quite good.
I like the music.
And actually, no, you said it's terrible.
Yeah.
And the visuals, it was like coming back home. You know what I mean? Like the way that they had all the sets made out, it all looked so great. It looked like it was part of the original trilogy. And it was crazy because when you do these movies that you know the ending, technically, you know they're not going to survive. It's really hard to get people invested. And even though I knew they were going to get the plans and I knew they were going to die, I was still on the edge of my seat. And that's how I differentiate these movies from each other is when I'm in the moment. Do I still get goosebumps watching those moments? I still do. And so Rogue One, proudly at 5. Is that where we're at?
I think
5?
so.
Yeah. Proudly at 5.
I will say
6 means you hate it. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say
playing, bro.
I like the soundtrack. In fact, the vinyl box set that I bought comes in on Friday, so I'll do an
You
unboxing
just bought
of
that
that.
because it looks pretty.
No,
not 'cause you the-
I love Giacchino, and I like this. It's just if
I met
felt a little lost to
Giacchino.
me.
I'm his godfather.
Mick, what do you
His
got?
godfather.
What do you got for 5?
My 5 is Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
Definitely the best of the prequels by far. Yeah, the Padme stuff is probably the weakest part, and from what I've heard, there was some like deleted scenes that made her like way cooler. When she confronts Anakin at the end, she was like possibly gonna kill him, like she has a knife with her or something. So
Got a knife.
I feel like they definitely had more for her to do, but just I don't know if it was time or something. They just had to cut stuff. But so yeah, she definitely suffers the most from it. But I mean the Mustafar fight is amazing. Again, Ewan McGregor knocks it out of the park. I mean, I still get choked up at that scene when he's, you're my brother, you were the chosen one, all that stuff is just super good. And Anakin's great in the movie. I know that Hayden Christensen gets a lot of hate for his acting and his portrayal of Anakin, but I think it makes sense with what he's going through, just all the weight that's on his shoulders. I totally get it. So great movie. I love going back to this one. Soundtrack is great. Visuals are awesome. It's just a really solid movie.
Okay. My number 5 is also Revenge of the Sith. We've talked about it over and over again. The end scene with, like Corey said, Obi-Wan and Anakin, the high ground.
I said that too.
Yes. That to me was, amazing. I really like all the stuff they did. It looks great. Music is awesome. So yeah, that's my number 5. Choop, are you on 5 too?
Yeah, what's happened?
There you go.
My number 5 is Rogue One. So
Oh yeah.
That's it's a great spot for Rogue One to be. You know what I mean? It's not too high,
Any less would
definitely
be
not
terrible.
too low.
Yeah.
That would be disrespectful.
You guys are idiots.
Sounds perfect.
Oh yeah,
It sounds perfectly placed.
It is perfect.
Just remember that his
sounds
6
exactly
is
right.
Empire
We're
Strikes
not
Back.
talking about that. We're moving on, baby.
Whenever you're signing with him, just remember what his 6 is.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Okay.
No. Everything you guys always already said. It's a great one-shot movie.
Yeah.
The fact that, like you said, Corey, I'm invested in all the characters, even though I know the outcome, is really well done. And I love Krennic. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Even Galen Erso is really cool. And Jyn Erso.
It was cool because the characters that they made were like a lot of them were new characters too, and they all fit in the universe perfectly.
Yep.
It just felt at home.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was great. And I didn't even mention Darth Vader, which you did, I think.
Yeah.
Sick scene.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was awesome.
One of the best Star Wars scenes ever. We're into our top 4. Right? Everyone's given their 5.
Yep.
I think we've talked about a lot of these, so if we can just kind of run through the ones we've already talked about, we can just kind of do it quickly. I'll do my 4 real quick. Force Awakens.
Okay.
To me,
All right, you're not an idiot.
To me,
Wow, top
it
4?
feels like
I don't know about that.
Hey,
all the characters, I thought, for being brand new characters, I was invested in Rey. They did a really good job of being like a mystery behind her. Like, I remember just as soon as that was done, being like, is she related to Luke? Is she related to Han? Is she related to, like, I thought that was incredibly done, and that kept us talking about stuff. I thought the ending scene with Luke finally showing up, the scene with Han and Ben killing him, I think that's absolutely beautiful and well done. The music's great. Rey's theme is one of the best songs in Star Wars. So I just think every character hits. I liked Finn. I liked Poe. Unfortunately, like we've already talked, it kind of went off the rails, but the setup of that was really good, and I still really enjoy that movie. So number 4 is Force Awakens for me. Go ahead, Mick. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Rogue One. Again,
Oh, that's a good spot.
I think it's,
little high.
everything you guys said. I think it's the best looking Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
I think they utilize a lot of like model work that just, it looks like you were saying. It just brought me back to the OG.
It's
trilogy.
like they did an HD remake.
Yeah.
With a new story.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was awesome.
The music, awesome. Vader, awesome. So much awesome in this.
Awesome.
movie.
What does she
propose? Awesome.
What does she
Let her speak.
proposing?
There is some inconsistency stuff with Jin's character, but to me, it's so small that it doesn't really affect the movie for me.
Yeah.
It's my
Go
number
ahead,
4.
T-Dog. What's your 4? Your Mount Rushmore of Star Wars.
That's not the Mount Rushmore.
4.
The Force Awakens.
That's 4.
You already said it.
Okay, there we go.
For
That's a perfect spot to
similar
put it.
reasons. If they would have just kept going along the same path, you've already said this, same director would have been great. It's just drop balls after that, unfortunately. But man, they set him up, you know. And I'm not a person to be bothered by, it's so similar to A New Hope, basically.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Oh.
The characters that they introduced had a lot of intrigue. I started getting invested in Poe and Rey a lot. Rey, I was so pumped to see. We were talking about it so much, like nonstop for years about,
I saw the grave at Luke's island. Remember I kept sending you guys pictures?
I took a picture in the theater. That's definitely a tombstone. Luke's wife.
Dude, that was
Get outta here, dude.
Rey's mom.
The amount of
Hashtag
theories. That's why this movie's so high, is because what we like to do is this, right? Analyze and talk about. That movie made so much open-ended ideas and theories for us. That was amazing.
And none of them paid off.
And there was
J.J. Abrams, you slide dog.
The Palpatine one was the only one that paid off. But yeah, I mean, that's why it's above Rogue One for me, because there wasn't really anything to talk about after Rogue One, really.
Yeah.
It was an open shut case. But what about you two?
You guys ready for my number 4?
my gosh,
yeah, there's
get out.
one
This is
crazy
garbage.
Jedi. That's my number 4.
Better than Empire,
I know,
guys. Think
it's-
about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is my
I don't
personal,
wanna think
it is my
about it.
personal preference. Just because I didn't get to talk about The Last Jedi, I will say, listen, I know you guys hate this. I know people out there, if you didn't already stop listening when I put Empire at 6, you're probably stopping right now.
We're talking to no one right now. We're talking to just
I
us.
think there's one
Hey,
person.
Luso's out there. He's been waiting for this.
Yeah, Luso's here.
Yeah, for me, like, I actually really like I'm different than you guys. I know you guys will probably kick me off. I like what they did with Luke's character.
You liked him milking the...
Yeah, I liked him drinking that blue milk, green milk, baby.
Oh,
It's right within his character. But I do like...
He's drank milk before.
That's right. Different colored milk. I like the way they set him up. For me, I'm fine with having a flawed hero. Like, for me, that makes me like someone more if I'm like, hey, he didn't just continue on that we saw him in at the end of Return of the Jedi. He's just this paragon of virtue and solves everyone's problems. So I like that aspect of the story. The Canto Bight stuff is definitely some of my least favorite stuff, but I still appreciate the perspective it gives from the galaxy. Like, we've never seen that side of the galaxy, of profiteering and stuff like that. The rich people in the galaxy, we've only ever seen like, oh, these are all the poor people kind of a thing. So I enjoyed that added nuance to the world, basically. Some of the cooler stuff, the scene, throne room scene, one of my favorite Star Wars fight scenes.
The best,
also the Holdo maneuver, really cool moment. I like what they were doing with Rey, of like, she has darkness in her. She's a nobody. I like that route that they were setting up. And I also really, all the Kylo Ren and Rey stuff, their connection in the Force was really well written. And I think both of their relationships, I think they just knock it out of the park with their performance. So that's one of the reasons I really enjoy this movie. I don't like Maz Kanata's jetpack. I'll put that on the record.
Why? Out of all the things to not like, that's
it.
Yeah, it was lazy.
It's like, throw Maz Kanata in there. She's playing Battlefront 2 or something.
That was a very weird. Yeah,
it didn't make any sense. But anyway,
would you say this one's like probably the most divisive? Star Wars
absolutely.
movie?
Yeah,
I feel like this one
Last
splits the most.
Yeah, I know people that are like, well, I'm never talking about The Last Jedi. You bring it up, like you guys.
Yeah,
I don't
let's
know.
leave.
I don't know. I don't know many people who really love The Last Jedi.
No. I mean, Josh and Crystal.
But I'm saying
baby.
that's it. Like, I don't hear from anyone that they're like, that's my favorite.
Ryan Johnson. I heard Ryan Johnson really loves it.
He might like it. Yeah, maybe. Or he might just like money. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be good to ask him. Maybe we could get him in here and we could talk to him as a guest.
What's the Rotten Tomato score on it?
No,
I don't know.
we don't talk about Rotten Tomatoes.
We don't talk
Let's
about
go.
tomatoes.
We've all done our 4, right? Or have you not done your 4?
Yeah, I done.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
all fours.
Give us your 3 so that we can wash out The Last Jedi with something good.
My number 3 is The Last Jedi again.
Oh, it's that good. Top 4.
That's right, baby.
Just
Top
It's all
Here
of
we
them.
go.
1,
Top
2,
three.
3, 4, all Last Jedi. A New Hope is my number 3.
Okay.
Just a great introduction to the world. Nothing more to say.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
A New
T-Dog, give us your
Hope.
3.
A New Hope. I mean, it's iconic, right?
Yeah.
It's a build up, right? There's this movie is awesome for what it does, right? It sets up all these characters and the story, and it does all this stuff. It's just not, for me, the most like interesting. It doesn't have me on the edge of my seat. I'm not like super, super interested in things that are happening. It's just a little taster, and these are my top 3. So they're like right next to each other anyway. But yeah, what about yours, Mick?
Mine is also New Hope.
I might as well say now. My 3rd is New Hope. So
way.
that's a clean sweep.
Higher than Empire? Oh.
Yeah,
Done
it's
Empire.
like you said, it's a great opening to this universe that George Lucas created. It's a good, like, just classic hero's tale, good versus evil, hero's journey. It's 3 for me because I think it is a little, it's slower than the other 2, pacing wise, but it's still, I mean,
You were really young when you watched it, so
Not as slow as
and I
Empire
guess
Strikes Back, dude.
I've never grown up since then. I'm still 7.
You guys are the worst.
No, it's. I mean, how can you not like this movie? It's really, really good, really solid.
Yeah. New Hope for me is number 3. I don't need to say anything. You guys already have seen it a million times.
This will just be
Number 2 for me is Return of the Jedi. As a kid, it was my favorite. As I grew older, like you're supposed to do, it kind of went down. But again,
did you grow up?
Sometimes,
Did you?
Sometimes I'll think of a list and I'll be like, man, Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars movie. So this will kind of change. But as of now, Return of the Jedi is my number 2.
Put it down on the list.
Stupid.
I just think,
Dude, you're wrong, bro.
Luke's green lightsaber is amazing. I even like the Ewoks. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do is watch. Maya's getting to the age where she can watch certain things, but she already knows what the Ewoks are, and seeing her reaction to Ewoks is, I think, one of the coolest things ever.
Murder bears.
And so I just love that kind of stuff. But yeah, Return of the Jedi is my number 2. I don't need to go on about it. You guys have all seen the movie. You guys already know why it's so great. But yes. Anybody, go ahead.
I'll do Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just it is a little slow. I agree with you 100%. But not so slow that I would, fall asleep when I was a little kid, But
You're not a child.
No, I mean, this movie's great. And it's exactly, it's funny because obviously you know what my 1 is, but yeah, I'm just not as sold on the storylines that are told in this movie. Like that middle bit, exactly what you're saying. I just really didn't
That's why it's at 6.
What's it called? Sky City, or what's it called?
Cloud City.
Cloud City is close enough. Yeah, didn't really like that engagement, that whole sequence. That sequence felt really weird and random, and like C-3PO doing all that. Yeah, it was just weird. Not a fan of that sequence, and that's why it's just brought right underneath it. But what about you, Meg?
My 2 is also Empire.
Okay.
I don't have as much
Wrong.
problem with the pacing as you guys. I totally get it though, because that part is like, especially when you go back to what Luke is doing, just that whole kind of middle chunk of the movie. It definitely changes up its pacing. But I mean, it's still a really solid movie. Han Solo is probably the best in this movie, and then his sacrifice at the end is great. And yeah. Vader, Luke, their conflict at the end, super awesome.
The best. Never mind.
Oh,
I'll talk about it when I talk about my number 1 movie and the ranking.
Good idea.
My number 2 is Revenge of the Sith. Putting prequels in the top 3, baby. Let's go. You said you love the prequels.
that's
you don't
good.
love the prequels as much as I love the prequels.
For some reason, I thought you. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Listen, I understand. There's some bad things about this movie. For me, like I just love this movie. It's my favorite opening sequence, probably of any movie. Pretty close to any movie. Like just the shot over, you don't know what's going on, and then you go into the battlefield is awesome. Yeah, I mean, we've already said it a little bit before, but yeah, just Anakin is the best in this movie. Obi-Wan still is awesome in this movie. Yeah, just everything about the build up to the end of this prequel trilogy. I'm just there for it. It's an enjoyable ride all the way through.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
Or maybe a couple questions.
Why are you so stupid?
Why am I so brave? I'm the only one here to have the stones to have a good opinion, different opinion. Bunch of sheep.
So when you have those scenes, kind of the more awkward ones we were mentioning, does that not bring you out of the movie, or you're just like, I'm in it? I'm buying every line.
It's a lot.
That's crazy.
It's a lot better. Padme gets a lot better progressively throughout the movie. So this is she's at the best. She's terrible in the first one. She's not that great in the second. She's at the height of her powers in Revenge of the Sith, baby.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like she doesn't have that many awkward scenes. There's still some awkward scenes between them, but
she's
it's
also
not,
in this movie the least.
right. It's not nearly
No,
as
I'm
much.
not saying her. I'm saying like there's other scenes like revolving around like she's lost the will to live, and it's like so cheesy and stuff. And then her like flopping around and like
Hey, that's the Clone Wars. That's number 2.
oh, is that okay?
Yeah, Attack of the
my
Clones.
bad. But anyway,
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Flopping
I just think
from Revenge of the Sith.
yeah. Sorry, I misremembered.
When she gets choked, she flops a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'll buy that.
There's a little.
Wait, that's that movie, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm
When
not
she
wrong.
chokes her, and then she like,
Yeah, I'm right. What?
she goes,
Take it back,
she falls
Mick.
over.
I take it back.
She flopped like this
There's a little flop.
because she demanded that she did her own stunts. That was a stunt, apparently.
While she
And
was
she
pregnant,
braced
too.
herself instead of using a mat. Or
No,
she did
no,
have a
no.
mat. and she braced herself,
Well,
and that's why it was like that.
Anakin used the Force to
lay her down.
lay her down.
Oh yeah. After
It's
choking her out.
It's canon.
Yeah, after choking her out.
He was just showing her who's boss. He wasn't going to hurt her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Choking's not hurting.
Run to the Sith, number 2, baby. Let's go.
Okay. I'll might as well go with my number 1, Empire. We already know.
Basic.
If I'm going to like Josh said and like Corey said, every single one of these ones is so close that it can like it's just little things. I think for me there is nothing more iconic than the Luke and Vader reveal. I just think even in all the movies, that's just one of the top moments in cinema history. So for that reason alone, but I just think I'm a big Han fan. And I just think his sacrifice and, that line, I know that's incredible. Like that is iconic as well. I don't mind the Bespin stuff. It gets a little slow, but I think, I'm engaged in it and I like it. And I'll say one thing. If a lot of people complain about, George Lucas going back and doing special editions, this movie has the best things. The special editions, the stuff that George Lucas enhanced, they work the best in this movie because Cloud City looks amazing. If you watch the old one compared to what they did, it just is a completely different
like all the windows
movie.
are closed off.
And
can't see anything. Yeah.
So for me, that works. Special editions work on this one, and so it's my number 1.
We didn't even mention any of the Hoth stuff. Hoth was...
Oh yeah, the opening,
great.
The AT-ATs, AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them. I just think it's incredible. So that's my number 1. Go ahead, Josh.
So Josh, let's hear it first.
My number 1 is Return of the Jedi. It is the right answer, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think we can all agree
Oh,
that it is the right answer.
I mean, it's the only answer you can do when you put Empire 6.
That's not true.
Mean,
Hey, why don't you wait to hear what...
They both have Return of the Jedi.
no.
That's what I'm saying.
I made one up. Just to spite you.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, from the very beginning, like basically it's like a opening scene. It's like we're not even part of the main story yet. It's almost like a little bonus chapter ahead where like, what's C-3PO doing back on Tatooine?
Right.
And all the stuff with Luke coming in, wearing the he's wearing the all black. You're like, what the heck is going on here? Who is this guy? He force chokes the Gamorrean guards. Oh, what? What's going on with Luke right now?
Guys, let's be honest.
It's like he was trying to hurt them or something by force choking.
You guys are swayed by Slave Leia's outfit.
No.
That's why it's number 1 for you. Because you guys were at you guys were little
it's
boys.
all part of the package, dude.
You guys were little boys at that age.
Hey, it's part of the package, brother. You're just jealous you didn't have it.
I haven't grown up since.
But yeah, I mean, all that stuff is awesome. I love the stuff on Endor and also just the last fight with Vader and Luke. Their last moments together is just, all that stuff is so good for me. I just really enjoy all that. And yeah, that's the reason it's number 1.
Same here. And I'll say that this movie isn't just a movie. It's kind of the accumulation. It's accumulation of everything that's been told thus far. That's why, for me, it'll never be eked out by Empire Strikes Back because it's using Empire Strikes Back to back its story. And so, yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess if you like took all the story away, it wouldn't make any sense. But you can't do that. So, yes. Obviously, him like Luke at his pinnacle, so bad. Like. All the storylines coming to this nice peak. All the feels, bro, happening. I love it. It's so good, bro. How can you not love this movie? That's crazy. It is interesting how everyone has Empire as theirs for number 1.
Not everyone. Obviously, 3 of you have Return of the Jedi. And
we're the minority.
Empire.
We are the minority in the grand scheme of things. But man, yeah, dude, get out of here, bro.
Mick,
my top
finish
one's
us
actually
off.
The holiday special, not the
Noise.
Is that released in the theaters?
No,
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope it is.
My number 1 is Return of the Jedi. Basically, what you guys said. I just love the completeness of Luke's arc, and I think he and Vader have the best emotional stuff in this movie. The end fight with him and Vader, like choreograph wise, it's probably a little bit below Empire, but the emotion behind what's going on there, that is like, I think the best fight in all the Star Wars movies. I love Endor. All that stuff is good. It gives each group of people something really important to do. And
most importantly, it's not boring. You know?
Yeah, it's not boring.
Empire,
just playing.
Empire leaves off the end of the movie with so many exciting story points, and it all gets paid off in the next movie. That's what makes this movie so great. It's a perfect duo.
Yeah.
I think that I agree. That's why I think the last three, the original trilogy 3, are so close. Just, like 100%. Depending on the day, you can flip them.
Yeah. But yeah, probably I would say my favorite scene in the movie is the burning of Vader. I just love the.
Yeah, what is wrong with you? The burning of Vader is the best.
Haven't you guys ever want to burn your robot father?
There's this video of it's Luke, and he's like Luke mourning the loss of his father, and it's like burning, and the music's like really solemn, and it's like 10 feet away, the Ewoks are just having a rager, and
they're away. He went off alone. You know what I'm saying?
It was a dark forest.
But no, just the music did.
The music swell there it was just I love that scene. It's so good. So,
nice. So that's our rankings.
That's it.
Yeah, that's all of them.
That wasn't that bad.
I mean, his was really bad.
That was crazy, dude.
Let us know in the comments.
It doesn't matter, though. No one was listening up until that point. So
let us know.
I get to enjoy it. F you.
All right. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or even on our Facebook or our Instagram what you think about our rankings. Put your rankings so that we can see where we disagree. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is something Star Wars we love all the movies, but we all have preferences and it's subjective. So if you agree with us, that's awesome. If you don't, that's awesome too. But let us know what you thought. I think that's it, right? For today.
I think so.
Subscribe and like to our YouTube. Check us out on anywhere you get podcasts. And we'll see you guys all next week.